shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Okay, Catherine, whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Callum. How are you settling in first few days at Huddersfield Town?
Yeah, it's all been perfect to be fair so far. I went down with the lads to the game on Saturday just to see like how we play and stuff, and yeah, it was a great win, and yeah, it was good to be around the lads.
What did you make of it?
Yeah, well, it was a great way to start the season. I thought, especially second half, we just shored the game up. It never looked like they were gonna come back into it. So I think it was a very like confident performance, and hopefully we can bring that into next week.
When you sit back and watch your new teammates in action, is there a little bit of you already thinking, oh, I could see how I could fit in here, I could see what I could do in that situation?
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to watch like the attackers and see like the different movements and stuff that the manager wants them to do, and try to take bits out of that. But yeah, I can see how I can play in that team, and we're really high pressing, trying to play on the front foot, which suits my game down the tee.
Definitely a great game to start off the season. Hopefully we'll be seeing you in action soon. Do you know whether you're going to be playing tomorrow night yet or not?
Nah, that's just up for the manager, but hopefully I feel ready to go, so hopefully I'm involved and get something tomorrow night.
What do you want to get out of this loan move at Huddersfield?
Well, I knew that coming here, there's an expectation to be up challenging to get promoted, so hopefully I'm in a team challenging for promotion, and I'm getting games under my belt, so whenever I do go back to West Ham, I can be seen as a more experienced player than when I left.
You've had a couple of loan spells already, spent a bit of time with West Brom last season as well, with head coach Carlos Corberán, who obviously knows this club very, very well. Mm-hmm. What did you get from your time there?
Well, it probably didn't go to plan as whenever I thought was going to happen when I went there. But yeah, I just have to take it on the chin and move on. But up at West Brom, all the lads were perfect with me, and just being around the first team environment and stuff, it was my first time with that, and I thought that I coped with it well, and that I got on with all the lads perfectly.
I suppose whatever happens in terms of your football development, it's all experience, isn't it? Whether it goes according to plan or not, at least you know a little bit more about how loan system works when you then start your time here.
Yeah, exactly. I knew going up there, whether it worked or whether it didn't, it would still be an experience that when I look back on later in my career, hopefully I've learned something from, and it can help me push on in other challenges. Well,
hopefully you'll get plenty of opportunities here. What differences are you expecting playing League One football, playing competitive cup football? Scored a lot of goals in Premier League 2 and what have you, but how much difference are you expecting there to be in the kind of cut and thrust of league football?
Yeah, well, you're playing against men. I'm not playing against people my age and maybe one or two older than me. I'm playing against 33-year-old massive centre backs that are going to be heading me, kicking me, anything they can. So I know that's going to be the challenging bit, but hopefully I can still score my goals and affect games where maybe if I can avoid the challenge and get there before them, then that's the plan anyway.
I see a little smile on your face. You strike me as the kind of guy that might actually quite relish that kind of competition.
Yeah, well, I don't mind the challenge. I wouldn't say if I'm up against some 6'4" centre back, I'm not gonna want to be going for a header with him. But if I have to, I have to. Do you know what I mean? I'll try to find other ways around it. But I'm gonna have to at some point take a couple of hits, which I'm ready for.
You know Brodie Spencer very well from your international duties together. What did he say about you coming to Huddersfield Town, and how helpful has it been to have that familiar face here already settling in?
Yeah, well, as soon as I knew the Huddersfield were strongly interested, I texted Brodie and asked him what he thought of the gaffer and what he thought all around the place and all. And he was he had nothing but compliments to say about it, and he said that it would be a really good place for me to to come up and get games and progress. So yeah, it's good to know someone in there in the changing room that I've known for years. So yeah, it's good that he's here.
And who've been the big influences on your career so far? You say you've been around various clubs in different circumstances, playing, I'm sure, and seeing some prolific strikers over your time already. Do any of them particularly stick out, people that you model your game on, or who've offered you particularly good advice in the past?
Yeah, well, I've had advice from, like, my Linfield manager was David Healy, who was like a famous striker for Northern Ireland, which obviously he helped me with like my movements and stuff, which was great. And it was great to have that as like my first team manager. It was great to have someone that I knew what he was talking about and knew what it was like to be as a striker. But yeah, every coach I've had, whether that's like my under-18s coach, under-21s, like, they all have wee bits of advice that because they've all used to play football. So you don't have to be a striker to understand the game and tell me what different things I need to pick up on to bring my game to the next level.
If you get half as many goals as David Healy, you'll be doing all right. And do you think you like him at all on the pitch?
Well, he was a bit before my time, to be fair, with watching him, but I've watched like YouTube stuff with him, and he is a bit, to be fair. I could tell even when he was my manager, like, he would join in shooting drills and stuff, and you could tell like the ability he had, like striking the ball and stuff. He still has it now.
You now make me feel very old, so thank you for that. How keen are you now then? You're here, you know you're going to be here for the next few months, to just get cracking, get out on the pitch and show the fans what you can do? Yeah,
well, that's the plan. The games come thick and fast at this level, like, so hopefully I can just get as many games under my belt, stay injury free, and hopefully have a great season.
And family, are they going to be able to come and watch you?
Yeah, well, my mum and dad are over for a couple of days now, trying to help me like move my stuff up and all from London. So they'll be at the game tomorrow night, so hopefully they get to see me play sometime then.
Yeah, presumably they must both have been a huge influence on your career as well, even from the early days, driving you around to training and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, massive. Like, my dad drove me everywhere, like up and down the country in Northern Ireland, and even now they both come over. Like, they love coming to watch me play. Even when I was down in London and stuff, they come over and get like an apartment for the week and come see me and stuff, which I still love doing, because I'm a Ma's only kid, and my dad's got two. That's it. One's too old to be in the house now, so I'm the only one in the house. So they're all over me like a rash.
How good are they at watching from the stands? Like, which mum and dad, which one's likely to go the more crazy when you score your first goal here?
I wouldn't want to know what my mum's doing, to be honest. Like, they'd both be celebrating, like, but I wouldn't want to hear what comes out of my mum's mouth during the game, to be honest.
I'm sure she has nothing but good things to say. Well, lovely to meet you, Callum. Best of luck here. Thanks for your time today.
Cheers, thank you.
Steve, just give us 1 second while we move the mic over to the thing, and then we're going to go to Stephen on the screen from We Are Terriers. Thanks, Steve.
No problem. Ready to go now, yeah?
Yeah, all good, thanks.
Fantastic. Hi, Callum. Good to meet you.
Hi.
Welcome to Huddersfield. For those fans who don't know you so well, obviously, I don't think too many of our fans would be following Premier League 2. What sort of player are you? What strengths are you hoping to show at Huddersfield?
Well, my game would be more like running behind and playing off people's shoulders and stuff, because I'm not the most physical, like, so I know that I have to use other ways to get advantages.
We've seen that you're a very clinical finisher. Is that what, from your conversations with the club, presumably that's what they want you to bring, goals above all else?
Yeah, well, that's the main thing that I've been brought in for, is to score goals. Like, that's my job as a striker, and I think over the last couple of years that's what's got me the loans that I have, is showing that I can score goals. So hopefully I can bring that up here as well.
You've had experience of playing in, senior football, West Brom, and internationally as well. Had that heartbreaking moment, unfortunately, against Denmark, but that kind of experience must make you more hungry to go and make a point and maybe put yourself in contention for West Ham in the future.
Yeah, 100%. The Denmark thing was, still, it feels like it was like yesterday, but I think it was over a year ago now, like, so yeah, it was a great experience, and I think no matter what, even all the games I played for internationally, and I think that'll just get me ready for coming into league football, and hopefully that'll stand me in good stead.
Who are some of the players that you have looked up to growing up, or even now, who you particularly sort of take bits from when you're looking at how you can improve your game?
Well, I always liked, even though I'm a United fan, I still I like watching Aguero. I think Aguero's movement and stuff. Like, I think he was a really smart player. As much as he was a great finisher, I think the way he was around the box, like, he was just always a nuisance and stuff. And even Chicharito Hernandez for Man United, that's probably the sort of players that I'd base my game off, just high pressing on the front foot.
Does it excite you then that you've got Manchester United in the EFL Trophy, potentially a chance to play against them? Have you played against them before?
Yeah, I've played against United with West Ham in the 21s League.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully that'll be a great game.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to Huddersfield. Good to meet you. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. And we'll finish off with Leon from the Yorkshire Post.
Hi, Callum. Yeah, congratulations at your move, mate. I was just wondering, was it always the plan to get away on loan for a whole season? I know you had your bit at West Brom just half a season, but actually getting somewhere for a full year, you get the full experience then, don't you, really?
Yeah, well, I always knew that was going to be a strong possibility. I still done my pre-season with West Ham, and obviously we've got a new manager now, so I was seeing how things went there and what it was going around the place, and obviously West Ham have made a lot of signings and stuff, so yeah, I think it was the best thing for me to go on loan, and hopefully it'll pay off.
Because it must have been quite, you sort of played the cup game for West Ham and you were straight out to West Brom. It can be quite tricky going somewhere mid-season, can't it, really? And you've not got as much time to settle in, I suppose, have you?
Yeah, well, hopefully I was coming into a team that was doing really well at West Brom. It was hard to get into the team, but obviously it's going to be hard to get into the team here as well, but I think because I'm coming in at the start, we're all on a clean slate, do you know what I mean? So hopefully I can work my way into the team early enough.
And you'll probably have a loans manager at West Ham. Will they be keeping in touch with your progress and speaking to you, that sort of thing? Yeah,
there's a loans manager, but even the coaches and all, I have really strong relationships with the 21 staff, so they'll all be texting me all the time and making sure that I'm keeping well on the pitch and off the pitch as well. Yeah,
it's good that you obviously Brody, you know him very well. That must be nice coming into a new club. You come into a different part of the country, and it's nice to know someone, isn't it? Really, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, I'm not driving at the minute and stuff, so even stuff like after the game on Saturday, he was he brought me back to my hotel and stuff, and we've talked about we might live together or whatever. So it's great that not even someone I've known him for years, so it's good someone to be comfortable around from the start, and you don't need to break the ice or anything.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you know him through sort of the Belfast football scene, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I lived with him as well for a year, so I know him really well.
Right. So you're sort of good friends apart. Not just teammates, you're sort of pretty lifelong friends, really, aren't you, by the sound of it?
Yeah, I've known him since I was about 14 probably, so yeah, I've known him for years now.
Yeah, fantastic. And I was just going to ask you, at West Ham, I did a piece, a player at Rotherham earlier this summer who was at West Ham. He was talking about how the senior players helped, and you mentioned Mark Noble and one or two others. Is there any of the first teamers that have sort of had some words of encouragement, put their arm around you, giving you little tips, that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, Danny Ings, he was, especially on the pre-season camps and stuff, I was if I'd missed a shot or whatever, he was always encouraging me, because he knows what my finishing's and he knows just to focus on the next one and not get hung up in the last miss. And even Mark Noble's still working around the club, so I'm always talking to him, and he texted me when I came up here and was wishing me all the best and said that if I need anything, just to let him know. So there's loads of people in and around West Ham that are looking out for me. Yeah, that must be good with someone like Danny, he's probably a similar-ish sort of player to you as well in some respects, isn't he? Yeah, he's a great finisher. You can tell even in training and stuff, he was someone that I was looking up to. Some of the finish he was doing, hopefully I look to be doing that. Yeah. Very best of luck, Callum, and nice talking to you. Thank you. Cheers, thank you.
Thanks everyone. We'll be back with Michael Duff at 3 p.m. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Cheers.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day. Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Thank you, Sam. Catherine, whenever you're ready.
Afternoon, Michael. A couple of days to then reflect on the win at Peterborough. Looking back on it now, what are you most pleased with that result?
I was pleased with a lot of the things that we worked on came out in the game. It doesn't always happen, but there were lots of positives. Their two best chances come from our poor play rather than their good play, which shows that the structure of the team is good because they've got some good individuals. The only real complaint was, and I don't want it to sound arrogant, but I thought it should have been more than two. I thought we could have gone there and put 3 or 4 on them. I thought the second half we dominated the game, and it was frustrating that we didn't score in the second half. But that probably shows the level that they got to.
Fans will already look at the League One table and see Huddersfield Town at the top, 1 down, 45 to go. How do you stop people getting too carried away at this very, very early stage of the season?
Supporters, that's like I said the other day, it's an emotional sport and people get high and people get low. The first thing the chef said to me this morning is like, it's in the table. I was like, yeah, it's not. It's a nice place to be, but it's there's a lot of work. We've had one decent performance, one decent result, but we're going to have to win games when we don't play well. We're going to have to nick points when we don't play well, and we'll lose games when we do play well as well. So it's just trying to keep a level head. say it all the time. Don't look too far in the future. Just concentrate on what's in front of you, which is tomorrow night.
And that's a switch, obviously, to the League Cup. At this early stage of the season, is it a help or a hindrance having a cup game so early on?
I don't know. To be honest, it's just another game. It's a game we want to win, definitely. If we do change the team, it will be giving people opportunities rather than resting people, because you've had one game of the season, so you're not into that part of the season yet. But there probably will be changes, but I don't think we'll be diluting the team in any way. It'll be a strong team we put out, definitely.
And from Saturday, did you pick up any injuries at all? We did wonder whether Lasse Sorensen had hurt his hand at one stage, but is he okay?
He got bit by a bee, stung by a bee, sorry.
Really?
Yeah. So, he made quite a lot of song and dance about it. But
we thought he dislocated his finger.
No, he got stung. And I think the whole ground heard him with his yelp, so he had a bit of sit to say about it. But no, other than that, everyone's come through the game. A few bumps and bruises, but no injuries to report, which is always pleasing.
League Cup then, for you, both as a player and a manager, the games that stick out, I think, from your playing days was with Burnley against Spurs. You just talked to me a little bit about that encounter over two legs, going back a couple of years now.
Yeah, long time. No, it was that year in particular. I think we beat Fulham, we beat Arsenal, we beat Chelsea, and then semi-finals against Tottenham. We lost 1-0 up at half time. I think we were in the first leg and got beat 4. Unfortunately, I scored an own goal, and everyone wrote us off. We took them back to Turf Moor, beat them 3-0, and unfortunately the away goals rule doesn't count until the end of extra time for some reason, because obviously if it was after the 90 minutes would have gone through on the away goal rule, but for some reason it doesn't. I don't know whether it's still the rule or not, but and then they scored in the last minute of extra time, which was a killer, but we ended up getting promoted at Wembley that year through the playoffs, so it wasn't all bad.
Is that where the value still lies in this competition, that there can still be upsets? Because you kind of look over the past, I think it's going back to 2013 that it wasn't one of the big four, if you like, that have won this league, and people do start to ask questions, well, what's the point when Man City just win it every year? From a head coach's point of view, what is the value of this trophy?
The value is it's games, it's opportunities for people, and from the players' point of view, you get an opportunity to go to some of the big grounds. We haven't got any sort of aspirations of winning the tournament. We're not delusional, but you do get opportunities to go to a Premier League grounds, go and test yourself against the best, and that's what players want to do. They always want to play at the best stadiums against the best players. So, you got to get through this round first. But I think that's what the cup games particularly give you those opportunities.
And I suppose seeing Middlesbrough get all the way to the semi-finals last year shows that you can progress in this competition. Yeah,
it's tough. The jump between the Championship and the Premier League is going back to what it was a few years ago, where it's the teams that come down normally bounce straight back up, and the ones that go up normally come straight back down. So it's that chasm is becoming bigger and bigger because of the money going into the game at the top end. But from players' point of view, don't overthink it. It's a game of football, opportunity to go and play against the best.
You take on Morecambe in the first round tomorrow then. From the homework I'm sure you've done on them, what sort of side do you expect them to be tomorrow night?
Well, it's still early, but I've played against Derek's teams a lot in the past, and one thing they're always organised, they're always structured, they're always hard to break down. They've always been a team that's, whatever formation they've played, they've always been a team that've been willing to work and run for him. He gets the best out of his players, so as much about it is about us. We'll be fully aware of their strengths and weaknesses. Disappointing result at the weekend. Whether they change shape or not, we need to focus on our performance and our processes that hopefully get us a result.
Is he somebody you know quite well, Derek Adams? We've spoken to him a few times on Radio Leeds through his time at Bradford City. Always not a man to mince his words. Shall we go with that? I don't know how well you know him.
I only know him professionally. I don't know him personally. No, but no, he's straight to the point. I think he'll use 3 words instead of using 100, because sometimes that's it's not a bad thing. But no, his teams have always been difficult to play against. I think they got promoted the year that out of League 2 in the playoffs, the year that my Cheltenham team won the league. So there was some good encounters in that year, and Went there a couple of years ago with Barnsley and they beat us. So yeah, I know what to expect if the players don't.
Finally, from me, I'm afraid we're going to keep asking this question until the end of August. Transfer business, is there anything else to tell us about either incomings or outgoings at the moment?
No, not at the minute. We are still looking, and the ins will probably affect the outs. We've not let anybody out yet because we obviously had the 4 signings, but now Callum's come in, and if any more come in, that might make room for other people. And like I said last week, it's not always a case of getting rid of people. Sometimes it's just not fair to keep people that aren't going to get opportunities.
With Callum's arrival, obviously on loan from a Premier League side, relatively inexperienced, are you still looking to maybe add goals from a more maybe established League One, League Two striker rather than somebody who's still learning their way in the game?
Well, we're just still looking to add. You don't always get what you want. I'd like a 6'3" centre forward who can hold it up, running behind and finish, and his link play is really good. But with respect, we are where we are. So we'll try and get the best player that's available to us. So there's been a lot of transfers don't just happen. I know supporters think they do. They don't. A lot of work goes into it, and I think it's a pretty well told story now about we had a player in the building, and he left for a different club the day after. So until they've signed on the dotted line, but we are still looking in that area of the pitch. Yeah.
Good luck tomorrow. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine. We'll just take the mic round and then we will go to Stephen from We Are Terriers Online. Thanks, Steve, when you're ready.
Hi, Michael. Good to see you again. You talk about the centre forwards. Obviously, it's the two midfielders who got the goals on Saturday. Great to have them on the score sheet, and what the strikers did in the press was excellent. But would it be good to presumably to see them getting goals? Do you still see them as sort of your primary source of goals in this side?
Oh, they have to be. That's their job. Ideally, a perfect scoreline is probably 2-0, where you keep a clean sheet and your 2 forwards both score a goal. That's sort of utopia. You do that every week, everyone's happy. But no, I thought their overall performance was good. We do ask a lot from them, but I think when you do play in a 2, you've got a responsibility to be the front of the team in terms of without the ball. Quite often I'll change both centre forwards during games because of how much we ask them to get through. But they're aware of that, so it frees up. There's always opportunities for other people. Now, if someone's absolutely ripping it up, you keep them on. But I thought they were both good. I thought Wardy was good when he come on. Keane he only had 5 minutes, but he impacted the game as well, which is pleasing. So, yeah, the responsibility, they've got other roles, but they're in the team to score goals.
How do you feel Josh Crome has adapted to that? Because in 5 years he's been at the club. We have seen him at centre forward now and then. We've usually seen him on the wing. Are you pleased with how he's adapted to that change of role?
Yeah, I think it's been good. Is the way that the team sort of works. They're sort of split strikers up until the top third of the pitch. So in that bottom third and the middle third, he's almost playing like a left winger anyway, because he plays in between the full back and the centre half. And then when we get into the top third of the pitch, that's when he plays down the middle of the pitch. So he's adapted well. We don't play with wingers, so if he hadn't adapted, we'd have had to lose him. So he does give us different options as well, that we can still go to a 3-4-3 or even a 4-3-3 if we wanted to. But I think his application has been really good, Josh. I think he looks fit. His hold-up play has been good. His pressing's been good, and we just need to hopefully get him off the mark. But we've had one game. It's not a drought or anything like that. He'll be desperate, the same as Reece and same as Wardy, same as all the forwards. They all want to get off the mark first. But one thing we do have is we've added goals into the midfield part with Herbie, with Anthony, and I didn't realise that was Wales' first goal. So hopefully the first of many.
Yeah, it wasn't intended as a criticism at all. I just wanted your input on that. You talk about sort of the impetus the wing-backs need to provide. I think some fans, particularly those who didn't see sort of the summer games, the friendlies, were a bit surprised to see, Mikel and Blas pressing in the final third, pressing in the opposition penalty box. Is that a design feature of your system? Is that something you want them doing? It's a gamble, obviously, because can leave the back three a bit exposed potentially, but it should create your goals as we saw on Saturday as well.
Well, it definitely created opportunities on Saturday. We want to be aggressive.
Yeah.
I want it to be a 3-5-2. I don't want it to be a 5-4-1 sitting in. And so there are games when you let them. It becomes a tactical thing. We want to get on the front foot. If we see a negative or a backward pass, we want to get after it. Now, you can't always do that. But there are times when you let them have the ball and then you set traps. And then you try and press from different areas of the pitch then. So, it was pretty clear on Saturday when their goalie gets it because of the way they play. We went man for man. We went really aggressive because they don't change the way they play. And I think the second half there was a little bit more confidence in the press. And, the goalkeeper ended up kicking out a play by the corner like 3 or 4 times, which comes from that aggressive sort of nature of, I don't want people worrying about what's behind them. They've got to trust the structure of the team. I don't want my deep line midfielder. I don't want him to be tracking people into our back line because we've got 5 defenders there. So they have to take the responsibility at that point. So there's always time when to pass on, when not to pass on. So that's sort of the work that's been going on in pre-season, which that's the bit the supporters don't see. And when we're playing teams like Lecce and Hertha Berlin and Sheffield United, it's sometimes hard to get a high press because they have the ball. So that's when you work on different other things.
That's all for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. And we'll finish off with Leon from the Yorkshire Post.
Hiya, Michael. Good to see you as always. You said it plenty of times when you're at Barnes, when you're a Cheltenham manager going to a big club. You've got 3 games at home now against the smaller clubs than Huddersfield, and a lot of it is about attitude, isn't it? Really, they're gonna come here and they'll probably be inspired by the ground and the surroundings and to give it a good go. And you just got to match them in terms of attitude, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Morecambe, with respect, they're in League 2. There's no grounds like ours in League 2. So we've just talked about going and playing at Premier League grounds and testing yourself against the best. They'll probably see that as an opportunity to come and play in a nice stadium. The pitch will be perfect and upset the apple cart. Everyone's expecting us to win.
Yeah.
It's never that easy. I say it all the time. It's hard to win a game of football. You need every player to turn up, but I think, like I said, we will make a few changes, but with the performance on Saturday, people that are coming in the team know that they have to give a performance. So hopefully that drives competition, because hopefully they give a good performance and then you've got another headache at the weekend. And that's sort of how you grow. It grows confidence, it grows competition. The training's been good. We want our training days to be harder than match days. Which again drives standards and hopefully improves. If you can be the most difficult opposition in training, then, like I said, all these things that you work on a Saturday, on the week, come out on a Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Danny Ward. He's obviously a senior player where you sort of see his role this season. I mean, remember also at Barnsley, with the likes of Devante Cole and James Norwood, they were senior players, and you got a lot out of them in your sort of time there. Are you confident if you can keep Danny fit, he can be a big player for you this season? It's a sort that it looks like you'll be able to work with him all being well and get the best out of him.
Well, that's the job, is to get the best out of all the players. My job essentially is to unlock potential in people. Now, just because he's plus 30 doesn't mean that he can't learn. I played till I was 38 myself, so age is not but a number. If he can stay fit, he's been good, his application's been good, he's training properly, and there'll be different games, tactical things, whether he starts or he doesn't start. But the thing that you do want is the ones that aren't starting, when they come on, they impact the game. And I thought the 5 subs all impacted the game on Saturday, which is what we want. I think we've got good squad depth now. It's you can't rely on a centre forward or one player. And the beauty of having a deeper squad, and you can keep changing, you can keep them alive. But it's up to them to deliver when they're on the pitch and in training, which they have done. I think that showed on Saturday.
Yeah, I know you've got some players who haven't got squad numbers. You see a bit of a alignment at the end of the last few weeks of the window. Things will become clear. 1 or 2 may move out, and then you can get your squad sort of a bit tighter and where.
Yeah, I think it's been a slow market. I don't think I'm the only manager that said it's been a difficult market. Because of the Euros, which is always it gets in the way in terms of Premier League clubs go away on tour, and they obviously the big stars don't go with them, so they keep all the kids in. And then there's a queue ultimately. because we're in the league we're in now, we're not high up on the list for some clubs. So we ideally, they'll. Well, if the window ended now, I'd be quite happy. Yes, we want more. We always want more, but I think the structure of the team looks good. We've had a long time with most of the group, so the good thing is we're not going to have to do half the team in the last week of the window, or half the team's going to leave in the last week of the window, which that's the most important bit.
And having 3 home games on the trot, finally, that's something that potentially you can possibly build a little bit of momentum, all being well.
Well, you've got to win tomorrow first. It's that will be the focus. Like I said, this is the danger of. Everyone says it's a difficult game on Saturday, and that's a tough start. That's a tough start. You win, and everyone starts getting giddy, going, "Well, dismiss the next 3 now because we've won them." Not the case at all. I'll be expecting performance from the players, and hopefully they can deliver a result.
Yeah. Best of luck as always, Michael. Thank you.
Cheers, Leon.
Cheers. Thanks, Leon. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah. Cheers.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.